Hey, I'm Lashana Guy, and this is Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift, inspire, and bring us all together every weekday at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 1 p.m. We are recapping the good news only, the feel-good headlines, the community and local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at wek.com and let me know about it. I would love to share it right here on the show. Don't forget that you can also share your good news with me on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook at 25 News Good News Only, and there you can message me with your good news. You can comment on the Get Personal with Shauna videos that we post each week, and you can continue to be a part of the conversations that we start right here on the show. Today's show, as usual, is full of good news. We've got lots of stuff happening around Central Illinois. I want to know your plans for what is it, the holiday, 4th of July. Can you tell? Excuse me, can you tell it's been a long day already? But I want to know what your plans are. Are you doing something special? Are you especially doing nothing? I think I'm especially doing nothing. I can't wait to do nothing and eat. That's what I can't wait to do. But let me know what your plans are. Send me an email, news25wek.com. Remember to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so that I know it is just for me. Tomorrow, tune in at 10:30 because we're going to have a special guest. He goes by Chef Rob or Wolf Eyes. He is a Native American advocate here in Central Illinois, and we're going to be talking about America's 250th. We're going to be talking about the Trail of Tears and what that means in terms of America's anniversary and our communities collectively. As a whole. So I think it's going to be a great time. He's brought some special treats for us, some things he'd like to share with us about his culture, his food. Again, I mentioned he's a chef. What's so funny about that is, or interesting about that is, my daughter Tay and I were talking about how we hadn't seen any Native American like restaurants, or I've never seen one, I don't think, and definitely not in this area. But Chef Rob, he is a Native American chef and he cooks Native American cuisine. And he has brought a special treat for us to try, so we'll do that. So I'm excited to try some food and to talk about the culture. It's a beautiful culture. So I'm excited to talk about that and how it relates to America's 250th year in existence. I think you can't talk about the or celebrate 250 years of America without talking about and celebrating Native American culture. And I'm excited to do that. We'll have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. So, we're going to start today's show off talking about Team Illinois and their return to or from the Special Olympics U.S. Games. So, we begin with this outstanding performance on the national stage. Team Illinois returns home after finishing sixth overall at the 2026 Special Olympics USA Games in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Travis Brady of Bloomington earned a silver medal with unified volleyball. Kelsey Ferguson of Normal captured gold in the 1500 meter plus, two bronze medals. That's great. And Tom Knudsen of Normal won gold in the Bucky team competition. And athletes say that the friendships and the opportunity to compete nationally were just as meaningful as the medal. So, congratulations to everyone who participated and welcome home. And the spirit of patriotism continues with a cross country journey. The relay for America carried one American flag across the country through East Peoria, and in Bloomington. More than 250 volunteer runners are helping transport the flag nearly 3,000 miles from the Golden Gate Bridge to the National Mall. Nicole Roberts of East Peoria was selected to carry the flag through Central Illinois. And Roberts called the experience emotional and historic as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Organizers hope to arrive in D.C. by Independence Day weekend while honoring those who served. Congratulations. I'm sure that was definitely an honor for Nicole. And a beloved Peoria favorite is officially scooping again. Ernie's reopened in Peoria under new owner Tony Cadam. Customers revealed traveled from as far away as Chicago and Lincoln to visit opening day. Now, I've never been to Ernie's, but I do believe I've seen it. I think I've seen the building a time or two, but I've never been. The fact that people have traveled from Chicago and Lincoln says a lot. I think it's probably a place I need to put on my list to give a try. Despite the equipment challenges and only one working ice cream machine, staff kept serving customers yesterday. Cadam says that he wants to keep the restaurant open year round while creating family memories. Free ice cream helped customers beat the summer heat. I think it's amazing that they handed out free ice cream yesterday, especially with the heat advisory. And just being a part of the community, I think that was a great gesture in terms of letting the community know how much they value their business. The restaurant is also hiring and working to restore the full original menu, which it sounds like it has big fans. So, speaking of community, there is a tree planting world record attempt taking place. From growing forests to growing a lasting family legacy, veteran tree planter Kenny Chaplin is attempting to plant 2,400 trees in 24 hours in Saskatchewan, Canada. Chaplin is 56 and he previously held the Guinness World Record after planting more than 1,500 trees in 17 hours in 2001 before the record was broken. He has spent the last 2 months training full time and must average one tree every 3.6 seconds to reclaim his title. He says that he is 56, but he still feels like he's in his late 20s. I would love to feel that feeling. Now, do I feel old in the body? Sometimes. Well, not maybe not old, just a little stiff sometimes. And I cannot imagine that he doesn't feel stiff. Like he has to stay bent over for so long trying to plant these trees. I mean, if you have to average 3.6, one tree every 3.6 seconds, that means for 24 hours, right? He's never going to be upright. So he definitely must be in shape and must have some good back fitness because I can't, my hips, my back, my legs, my neck, everything will hurt. So I wish him all the luck in the world. Landowner Lincoln Dobbs volunteers, Chaplin's twin brother, and others donated equipment, and they're helping to make this attempt possible by doing so. Chaplin says that the challenge is also a tribute to his late sister Jean, who first introduced him to tree planting. Beyond the record, Chaplin hopes the forest will become a legacy for future generations of his family. He got teary eyed, in fact, talking about his sister, but then also talking about the idea that the trees that he plants someday, his children's children will be looking up at them. And I just think this is the sweetest, most kindest, most thoughtful gesture one could bestow upon our earth and their own family. Speaking of nature and earth, it's lavender season at Moore Manor in Newport, Maine. From forests to fields of purple, summertime is in full bloom. Lavender is now blooming at Moore Manor in Newport, Maine. Owners planted their first lavender in 2014 and opened the farm to visitors in 2017. The popular Cut Your Own Bouquet experience allows guests to harvest fresh lavender with the supplies provided. Do we have anywhere like this in Central Illinois? I first of all, I love purple. That's my favorite color, and lavender is my favorite scent. Um, and so I thought this would be a great story for that. Number one, and to see pretty things come across your screen, especially life, like plant life, should bring you joy, should lift the spirits a bit, rejuvenate you, reinvigorate you for your workday. But I also thought this was a cool idea that if we don't have one of these or something like it in Central Illinois, it'd be so cool for one of you to start. Now, I'm not going to start it because there's worms and dirt, and I don't want to touch the worms. But I think this would be so cool. I would take my nieces and nephews, the kids in my life, to something like this. I would go with my sister. I would go by myself, especially if I can clip the herbs myself and take them home and have them in my house. I think I would sit there and read a book. Like, isn't that cool? I thought this was a cool, cool concept. Kelsey White of Benton visited with her daughters. They visited this here, and they said that the farm is a fun family destination where children can learn about agriculture, and owners say that they wanted to create a peaceful place where visitors can relax and escape everyday stresses. I mean, to me, just looking at it is relaxing. Moore Manor is offering a limited time early bird BOGO promotion on cut your own bouquets. I love the idea of cutting your own bouquet and being able, again, to take it home and enjoy it after being out. I mean, it probably would mimic the feeling of one working out in the garden. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? I just think it's so pretty and it looks so peaceful and serene. Well, we'll have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. So, as America celebrates 250 years of independence, more untold stories are coming to light. Reporter Jen Sullivan highlights ongoing efforts to uncover the stories of Black Revolutionary War patriots. Diamond Bush of Rhode Island traced 9 generations of family history to Patriot Michael Anthony, who served in the first Rhode Island regime. Solomon Titus Taylor researched his ancestor Ishmael Titus, an enslaved soldier whose Revolutionary War service wasn't officially recognized until 2013. And I thought his story in particular was very interesting because they had to go through a lot just to prove it and have it recognized. And even though the man is not here now, right? He doesn't exist. He or doesn't exist. He's since passed away, obviously. But his service did not exist, yet he absolutely physically served. And just to get it recognized, I mean, there was so much you had to cut, red tape you had to cut through, all the way down to the fact that this was an enslaved person who was sent to service in place of the person who owned him at the time. And he couldn't write or he couldn't read or write. So when it came time to sign certain papers, he couldn't. He could only sign with an X, which made it even harder to prove that he was there. But they know that he was. There are other forms of proof that he was in fact there. And finally, in 2013, it was recognized. Genealogist Taryn Kennedy, with the Daughters of the American Revolution, helps descendants uncover forgotten family stories, which are so very important. Researchers say incomplete records, slavery, and unmarked graves have made documenting Black patriots especially difficult. Because, and believe it or not, there are people on this earth who still believe or who still don't realize or understand that African Americans served in these wars and were veterans just like any other group, right? They don't often think about them, but it is the truth. And they deserve recognition just like the rest of the veterans. And, I was talking earlier about our guest for tomorrow and the Native American community and how we cannot celebrate without celebrating the entire history of America, without acknowledging, I'll say it that way, the entire history, 250 years of America, and back even further, because there were people who served in these wars. There were Native Americans who served as well, and it should be acknowledged just like every other vet community. Researchers or historians encourage families and friends to talk with others, with the older generations, to preserve oral histories and search archives to continue uncovering America's full story. The Empire State Building climbers. I know that this is like everybody's talking about this, but I just wanted to highlight it because Taylin, if you don't know who Taylin is, if you're new here, that's my daughter. We are documentary addicts. We love, love, love a good documentary. I fear that I have turned her into me in that regard. But when I saw this come across the television yesterday here at the station, I thought, I wonder if that's that couple that we watched that documentary about. And I'm happy to report that it is. And so the primary reason for me bringing it up to you today is to encourage you to go watch that documentary because it was phenomenal. And listen, they got arrested, but do I care? No. Yep, and it's absolutely them. They are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And you have to watch the documentary. Was it dangerous? Every climb they do is dangerous, and that's their choice for their life. That's their business. But and I hope every one of those charges that you just saw flash across the screen are dropped. Okay, reckless endangerment of themselves. That is their business. As long as they don't damage anything. I mean, hey, because they're very, very passionate about that. Now, this lady, the girl, she's got a family history of both her parents were in the circus in Europe. So they met in the circus, and then they had her married and had her, and so she grew up watching them do stunts in the air. Like they were stunt people, watching them swing in the air. And so she was a ballerina, and both parents, I believe her. I know her father passed. I believe her mother, either she passed away or she is disabled mentally and hasn't been able to. She's got some mental health issues and she is in a hospital, something like that. At one point, she was, and she may have passed later, or she may still be alive and is still there. But either way, that was her history, and so she started to do it because she was started to do these stunts and do these climbs because she's trying to just reconnect with her past and with her family, and it's been very cathartic for her. And then he, of course, has just been her support, and he loves her. You have to watch the documentary. You have got to watch it. But they climbed, of course, during the lunch hour, and they displayed a banner that read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." And I'm telling you, these two, they are amazing. They love each other, and I'm not surprised by that sign. But yeah, so now they're both in custody. They were just fine though. And when we come back from break, I'm gonna have the name of that documentary for you. I thought I had it in here, but I don't. So we'll talk about that when we come back from break. More good news only after the break. Welcome back to more Good News Only. So, before the break, I was telling you, we were talking about the Empire State Building climbers. I was telling you about that documentary. I'm telling you, you have to see the documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called Skywalkers, a love story, and it is definitely that. It is so good. It just goes through why she climbs because he's really a support, which is what I love. Because at one point they broke up because they were attempting to climb. He touched her, she fell and like hurt her ankle, and then he was mad at her because she was hurt and wouldn't listen, and then she was mad at him because he was too worried about her. So they broke up. They ended up getting back together before she went to do the climb because she was like, I can't do the climb without you. And he was like, well, then you have to be careful. And she was like, well, I'll let you help me more, but I'm doing it. And they did it. And so free them. I'm glad they did it. I'm so excited. Taylor and I watched this documentary. It came out in 2024, and Taylor and I watched it just a year ago. And it might have been the beginning of 2025, but when I saw it come across the screen yesterday, I was like, I bet that's them. But they get to the top of these structures and they take the most beautiful pictures. Because again, she is a former ballerina, and her parents were acrobats. And why are you over here? Why are you? Of course, we have a guest as always in the studio. Anyway, it's called Skywalkers, a love story on Netflix. You have to watch it. But that's a wrap for me today. I don't know why he's back here. And the show is over. And they still can't even see you. They probably can't even hear you. Well, now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25wek.com. Let me know what you thought about today's show. In the meantime, be sure to check out all of the evening newscasts and meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. for more Good News Only. I'm Lashana Guy with 25 News. Have a wonderful day. It was good news.